Do I need it?
Yes, you do.
I need highlight.
It's not completely going to highlight.
It's not
They'll be like,
completely
where's the
highlight.
glow?
Where's the glow?
That's
Me,
what
I'm the glow. I love it. Hi.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Needless to say, I'm excited to be back at you again today for another transformation video. If it's your first time here, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and also the bell so that you can keep up with me and my uploads. And if you're not new here, thank you for joining me again today for another transformation video. Without further ado, we're just going to get straight into it. So I am starting as always with my Embryollise to moisturize, to prep, to, you know, get the skin ready for all the goodness that we're going to layer on top of it. To start off Kiki's brows today by drawing the shape first with my NYX Micro brow pencil in the shade Espresso. Personally, I like to draw the shape in with a pencil and then go in to fill it in with a brow pomade. Everybody does it differently, but we all get the same end result regardless. So whatever works for you is what works for you. So I'm just filling that in with the ABH Ebony brow pomade, and you know, I'm just doing little hair-like strokes, and just, you know, filling in that shape I already drew. So to clean up or sharpen up the brow, I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro concealers, and I'm using a lighter shade. I believe that the shade that I used in the bottom there was either Toast or Fawn. I'm not 100% sure. No, sorry, Toast or Toffee. So I used that on the bottom, and then I used Beautiful Bronze on the top, because I wanted something a bit closer to her skin color on the top. So that's what I did. And then I'm using the same concealers to prep her eyelid area for eyeshadow. She's got quite dark eyelid space, so I'm just, you know, covering it up with the concealer and then setting that with powder. And I use the Sacha Buttercup powder. You don't necessarily have to set with the powder, but again, for me, this is just personal preference. It's just how I like it. So the first color I am going in with is from Makeup Geek, and it's the shade Morocco, and that is my first transitional color, and I'm using my Sigma E50, I think that brush is, blending brush to apply that transitional color. And I like to blow my transitional colors all the way up to the eyebrows. Again, everyone's different how they do their stuff. I'm reaching into my Karity Smoky eye palette. I'm using that purple shade first, and this time I'm using my MAC 217 and just blending that color into the outer and the inner corner of the eyes. I am doing a halo eye look on Kiki today. So you want to concentrate your colors on the inner and the outer corners of the eyes and just lightly blend through the center. So I reached back into my very first brush, which was my E50 from Sigma, to blend both colors into each other. Now I'm reaching into that darker purple color right next to the first one in the Karity palette, and again depositing the majority on the outer and the inner corners of the eyes, and then just blending through the center of the eyes as well. And I just keep, you know, applying and blending until I get the kind of intensity that I want from that purple shade. Off camera, I have gone in with concealer back into the center of her eyes, which is the halo part of the look, and then I reached into the Subculture palette, picking up the shade Cube, and I'm just packing that color right into the center of the halo, because that is where I want that lighter shade to be concentrated the most. And then after, you know, packing it on and I'm happy with the intensity, then I go back into that purple from the Karity palette, and I use it to blend off the edges of the cube shadow into the darker colors I applied in the inner and outer color. And I just go back and forth between brushes and colors and just really blending everything in together, because we want it to look like a very seamless blend. So once that is done and I'm happy, I'm going to use my Makeup Revolution eyeliner, and I'm using the cold end of that liner to just line her top eyelash area, and then I pick up the black shadow and I'm going to use that to smoke out that kohl pencil. I'm not drawing a winged eyeliner today on Kiki. If you know me, you know that I'm not a big fan of winged eyeliners, so I'm just smoking out her lash line area basically. Once that's done, I'm going to start prepping her face with my Kiko Matt face primer. I chose this primer because she's got quite oily skin. But to be honest with you, I absolutely hate this primer. It's nothing like the old formulation. This new one is absolutely cancelled. So I'm reaching for my Delilah liquid highlighter, And I'm going to apply this all over her face before I apply her foundation. And I chose to do this because I want her look to be quite radiant. I want her skin to have a radiant finish. I don't want it to look very matte at all. So I'm going in now with the foundation after having blended out that liquid highlighter. And again, I'm sorry, every time I use my black opal, I can never tell you what shades because they are deported. But I mixed 2 different shades to get something that would work for Kiki. And I'm just, applying with the brush and really blending in with my sponge. I love my Real Technique sponges. So that's what I'm just doing there, just really packing the foundation into her skin and letting her skin glow. So now I'm going in with my Makeup Revolution concealers in the shade 12 and 13, I believe, and just using that to highlight the usual highlight areas and use 17 to contour on her. So again, reaching back to my trusty sponge, I like to use my sponges to blend. I find I get a seamless blend with a sponge as opposed to what I get with brushes. So I'm just really working those concealers into her skin and just really blending them in because we don't want any harsh lines and we just want it all to look, seamless. So, yeah. Oh, she's going to come in and give you a close-up. There we go. Skin. So now I'm going to reach into the Sacha Buttercup setting powder and I'm going to use that to set her highlight areas. I did not bake on Kiki at all because we basically just did the makeup to film. She wasn't going anywhere, so 1, I didn't want to waste product. 2, there was absolutely no reason to. If she was gonna go out, I would have baked because she's quite oily, and I would want her makeup to last a lot longer, so I would have baked her otherwise. Because like I said, she was going to wash her face straight after, I just really set that powder into her skin and I did not bother with baking. So reaching into my trusty Ben Nye palette this time around now, I'm going to go into those 2 darker shades and I'm using that to set her cream contour. So again, blending in nice circular motions all over the areas that I applied the Makeup Revolution concealer to contour her face is where I am going to go over with the powder. I find circular motions is the best way to blend. Swiping across will do you no good whatsoever. So now I just add to my black opal powder in the shade Dark, and I'm just using that to clean up my contour line. This is really good if you overblend or you find that your contour is looking a bit messy. It's always good to do this to clean it up. So I let that sit for a little while, and then now I'm reaching into a face powder, which is the Adobe from Ben Nye, which is Kiki's skin color powder. And I'm just using that to dust off the excess powder that I used to clean up the contour and to essentially set the rest of her face so that, all of the foundation and everything else is set. So to finish off Kiki's eyes, I'm going back into the Karity palette and using the 2 purple shades that I already used from that palette. I'm applying that on a smudger brush and just using that to really smoke out her lower lash line area. And then for the inner corners, I went back into the ABH Subculture palette and just applied that using a pencil brush in the inner corners of her eyes to help me open her eyes up a little bit. Once that's done, I go in with my Mario Badescu spray to help me set and, demattify her face. And then I'm going to go in with my CoverGirl bronzer to bronze, warm, further define her face. And then after that, I believe I went in with my blushes from Fashion Fair, which I will annotate in the video. And then I also went on top of that with my highlighter as well. Everything I used I will leave in the description box, guys, so please check it out if you were interested in any of the products. With that being said, the look was completed. Lips, I can't quite remember what I used, but again, I'll leave that in the description box. So thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Be good, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one real soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Love you.
And them,